What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here, and welcome to Hero or Villain Genesis. Now, what is Hero or Villain Genesis? Well, from the screenshots in Google Play, it reminds me of a D&D type game, a Dungeons and Dragons type game. So, I guess let's get started. Let's see. Show stats. Name, not determined yet. Enhanced human level. Name, not determined yet. Surname, not determined yet. Gender, not determined yet. Occupation, not determined yet. Apartment, not determined yet. Strength, 6%. Agility, 6%. Endurance, 6%. Intelligence, 6%. Psych, 6%. Fighting, 1%. Marksmanship, 1%. First aid, 1%. Journalism, 1%. Law, 1%. Engineering, 1%. Maximum health, endurance times 4, 24. Current health, 100%. Well, of course, we haven't done anything yet. Money, 200. Personality, arrogant, 50%. Aggressive, 50%. Charismatic, 50%. Vigilante, 50%. Kind, 50%. Cautious, 50%. Impulsive, well, all these are 50%. Relationships. Next, I guess. Next. Okay, so basically our stats are very, very weak. So let's begin reading. Oops. There we go. Become the greatest hero or villain that the world has ever known. Balance the challenges of leading a normal life while attempting to defeat evil or wreak havoc on the world. Hero or Villain Genesis is a 3,000... Wait. 330,000 word interactive novel by Adaro. I completely butchered that name. Where your choices control the story. The game is text-based with artwork to help set the scene. Will you hunt down villains to the last corner of the earth? Join a group of fellow heroes or villains. Defeat New York's criminal mastermind, or even replace him. Choose from dozens of powers. You can pounce your enemies with the power of your Pounce your enemies? Wait, I gotta read that again. You can pounce your enemies with the power of your fists. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be pound your enemies, not pounce. Maybe. I guess it'll make sense if I keep reading on and not stop like a dum-dum. Okay. Choose from dozens of powers. You can pounce your enemies with the power of your fists. Strike them down with hellfire. Take control of their minds. Dodge their attacks with your super speed. Or rewind time to learn from your mistakes. Build your own gadgets, improving the quality of your armor or the weapons mounted on it. Make alliances with other heroes and attempt to find a sidekick that works with you. Play as male, female, or non-binary. So does that mean we would be a robot? and romance many of the other characters. Several illustrations to enhance your experience. Variety of different game paths with over 24 different endings. Okay, I'm only going to be going for one ending, even though multiple endings is good. I don't have time. Several different difficulty settings. Play as a mighty, invincible hero, or just somebody only slightly more powerful than an average human. Parental warning. Okay, let's read this. I don't understand why there should be a parental warning to begin with. This piece of interactive fiction was not written with children in mind. Gee, you think? The story contains mature themes along with scenes that are rather dark and of a graphic nature. Mature themes include references to alcohol, violence, and mild suggestive content. Thus, it is not recommended for young readers. Reader discretion is strongly advised. All characters appearing in this work are fictitious, and any resemblance to real persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental. You can play the first 3 chapters of the game for free. Purchase the rest of the game below. Purchasing the rest of the game will also turn off in-game advertisements. So wait, you can only... I'm sorry. Let me get this straight. You can only do the first 3 chapters and then the rest you have to buy for $3.99? Before I make a judgment on that, we might as well play this.
And children went missing from the hospital. Let us begin with what we know. This doesn't add up. There's a violence to this case, a fury.
We'll fix him and the rest of his pack.
We must see and not be seen.
All I want is to be worthy of you, Sarah. Season premiere Sunday at 9 on TNT.
Don't care. Birth of a Superhero. Before you start, this game makes heavy use of a variety of stats to determine whether your character will succeed or fail at a given test. It is recommended that you consult these stats frequently and that you keep track of your money and health. If you want to consult the stats, click the Show Stats button at the top of your screen to see details of your skills, health, money, and other information. Okay. Okay. If you liked this game, please consider subscribing to the following page to hear updates about other games by Adaro. Subscribe Adaro Gamebooks now. No, thank you. The game is being continually updated following feedback provided in the choice of games forums or through bug reports. Thus, if you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to contact us. One of the options below will also let you know about the changes that have been made to the game since its release. What? Just start the game, man. Note, all I want to do is start the game and it's giving me all these things. But I feel obligated to read them. Difficulty settings. Note, there is also a difficulty setting, which will determine how strong your character is. Altering this difficulty can make it notably easier or more difficult to achieve a good ending in the game. Let's look at the difficulty settings. The default difficulty setting will give you 300 hero points to choose your powers. However, if you want to make the game easier or more difficult, you can alter the number of hero points that you will receive. Select a difficulty setting from the range given below, which will then automatically start the game. Next. Game difficulty changed to ridiculously easy. Note that in this version you have an almost limitless number of hero points, so you can choose almost all powers in a given category. However, not all achievements will be available to you. Don't care. I seriously don't care about achievements. The sound of sirens ring in your ears as police cars speed past toward the end of the street, joining the barricade that has been set up outside of a large corner supermarket. Yeah. Crowds of onlookers stand behind the cars, their eyes fixed at the scene developing before them. Many have their smartphones and cameras already in their hands and start to take pictures of you, while others clap and cheer. While you might not be as famous as some of the more powerful enhanced humans on the planet, you have already made a bit of a name for yourself by saving a couple of children from inside a burning building. Good for us! It was my duty as a superhero to save the children, or we could go with, as a vigilante, I not only deal with criminals, but I also help keep citizens safe. Actually, I'm more of a criminal than a superhero, but I still couldn't let some kids die in a fire. I didn't care at all about the kids. I went inside to see if there was anything I could steal, but this somehow helped the kids escape. Let's go with that one. Indeed, rescuing children inside burning buildings is but one of the many duties of a superhero. You have also dealt with a handful of petty criminals and other lowlifes in the past. However, you've never faced another enhanced human yet, and the prospect of a fight excites and worries you in equal measure. TV channels are already on the scene, and you found out from a radio broadcast about the ongoing situation, which luckily was not too far from your office where you work as Gay Mechanic's note. Your choice of profession will influence your salary and some of your initial abilities. Sorry about that. I guess all this readings make me tired. Some of your initial abilities, some of these abilities have a connection to your performance at work, law, journalism, etc. Other abilities not necessarily influenced by your profession, such as marksmanship or fighting, will influence the outcome of combat and the amount of damage you can inflict. First aid will determine the speed with which you recover health. If you don't have regeneration powers. Let's go with a web page designer. You spend your time designing web pages, though sometimes you also do some coding for other projects. The job has its challenges, and you're generally quite good at what you do. Many actually consider you one of the rising stars in the company, though since you obtained your powers, it's become increasingly difficult to juggle the challenges of a daily job with that of your alter ego. The broadcast described how an enhanced human was trying to rob a small supermarket, but somebody sounded the alarm. All the employees and customers managed to escape the building, and the robber appears to have now barricaded himself inside the supermarket with the police blocking all the roads leading to it. Descriptions point to an insect-looking shapeshifter with strong black scale armor and dark cockroach-like wings. He is unlikely to be very powerful, as otherwise he would have easily been dealt with by the police officers who arrived at the scene. Nevertheless, any enhanced human can cause a great deal of trouble to the police, so you thought it would be better to come and lend a hand. You hurriedly walked out of your office and came to the scene, knowing that this could be your first major challenge since you touched the meteorite stone that gave you your powers. That was really the day that changed your life, and you aren't sure whether you would have preferred to know what was about to happen. You had decided to go away from New York for the weekend and relax by going to see some historical sites, having a look at some old bridges and structures, going hunting in the countryside, going fishing, spending some time walking along the countryside, participating in a first aid course organized in a small village, studying a weekend course on law at a small... Let's go hunting. You decided to rent a car and travel northwards to the countryside. You were lucky on the day and managed to catch a couple of rabbits. Happy with your catch, you were about to return home when a glowing...
Can you lift up your shirt? What? Lift up your shirt for me, baby. I want to show you something. It's your party. See, that's some scar.
Bluish? Yeah, bluish stone attracted your attention.
Yeah, big thumbs, it's all good.
Is that the best that you got?
Okay,
We make mistakes all the time.
kind of a cool image.
2003. Did your brother do that one?
It was mesmerizing with its pulsating life, pulling you toward it with an irresistible force. As you touched the stone, you felt your entire body burning with the energy of the stone rushing into you. You screamed out, experiencing a pain more intense than any...
It's gonna cost you big time.
Wait.
Because twins have the same DNA but different fingerprints, but you knew that, right? That's why you
Than any other you had felt before. This probably only lasted a few seconds, though you felt that the moment went on forever. As you note. Game mechanics note. Here you will choose what type of powers your character developed after touching the stone. Later you will be asked to pick the exact power you have, which will be restricted by this choice. Rolled over the ground, earth-based powers, touched a piece of wood and set it on fire, fire-based powers. No. Tried to pour some water over myself, water-based powers. jumped around in the air trying to cool down.
Nope. I disagree. Your own mother gave you up.
Airbase powers. Ran into a dark area. Shadow powers.
What? Okay.
Passed out in the intense sunshine which burned my skin. Light powers.
Really listen to you.
Stumbled around until I eventually touched an animal. DNA merged with that of the animal.
Mistakes.
Clutched my watch as hard as I could. Time powers.
I've got all my
Tried to use my mind to control the pain. Mind powers. Attempted to rationalize what was happening.
look in my face.
Let's go with, I think, shadow powers.
It's over, Puma. You're free to go home.
Just like that. Why? What happened? Found the guy.
Gradually, the pain subsided, and you soon realized that your life had changed forever. Up to that moment, you had been a relatively average person, although it is
He did.
true that your friends always commented that you were very strong, very agile.
In the criminal justice
Let's go.
system, sexually
Had a very strong willpower and charisma.
In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of
Aside from that, your parents also noted
stories.
how when you were a kid, you were strong, were agile, were intelligent.
No, I think he's absolutely right.
However,
Find something else to do. Anything you want.
you also had your weak points, and people have mentioned how you are a bit
Enjoy herself. She looks adorable.
I don't want you eating too much junk.
clumsy.
You used to eat so much you got thick.
That's my point, Mom.
Department 1A, Arnold Savatsky, level 2 offender.
Your newly gained powers changed you and have completely set you aside from other
Come on, ever hear the same thing? I know the drill.
normal human beings. At the time, you were unaware that the same fate had fallen onto many other people around the planet. A few weeks after you touched the stone, the first reports about enhanced humans started arriving from Japan and Korea, and it was the Japanese who first proposed a classification of the different power levels that had been conferred to people by touching the stones. Essentially, it seems that there is some correlation between the size of the stone and the degree of enhancements that are made to human DNA. The Japanese thus described a... I'm going to completely butcher this name. Yanku? 4th level, as somebody with powers barely greater than those of a typical human. Whoever is attempting to rob the supermarket probably falls into this category, as you guess that otherwise he would have tried to rob a bank. A Sanku, 3rd level, is far more powerful, with powers that can easily defeat a handful of normal humans, even if armed. The prospect that the supermarket robber could be a Sanku fills you with dread, as it would make it a pretty close fight, though you reckon you should still prevail. Another cool image. Your own powers are probably equivalent to those of a Aiku, though you have never really had a chance to fully test them at the very top of the categories. The Aiku, 1st level, and Naiku, 2nd level. Enhanced humans can really pack quite a punch, and a fight between a superhero known as Shiryu Yuki and the evil Karsu Tengu left a large area of central Tokyo in ruins. Ultimately, Shiryu Yuki managed to prevail, and she has since consolidated herself as the protector of Japan. Considered to be the strongest superhero, her name derives from the snow that falls whenever she uses her powers, blanketing the land white. She appears to have complete control over ice, though she is also where'd I stop? Over ice, though she is also super strong and can fly. Her beautiful crystalline armor figure has long since become the most recognizable amongst heroes. It would be interesting to find out if your powers are actually as strong as hers, given that you are both classed as Aiku. Choosing powers. Note 1. Each of the powers below costs a certain number of points indicated in brackets. 2. The powers available to you depend on your earlier choice of power type. 3. In some cases, the choice of a particular power will be restricted by a certain attribute or choice. 4. You should spend all your points, as you will not be given any opportunities later to use unspent points. You have 1,000 hero points left to spend.
Did you find Nate? I don't know why Tim's not picking up. Okay, how long has it been since you spoke to him? An hour ago? He doesn't know about it. It's me. Call me back. Where are you?
Okay, so we can choose from movement powers, attribute enhancing powers.
Said the baby was in the car.
Did you get a look at the car? You see anyone driving it away?
No, I was making change. She ran out. Next thing she's screaming. I go outside to help.
Allie?
Offensive powers.
You won't know where I am.
Allie! What's going on?
I can send hellfire to my enemies.
What are you talking about?
I can generate a lightning bolt of dark energy.
You can talk to Hal like that, you're not.
If he explode like that, let me talk to Tim. I'm the only one who can calm him down. Detective Lamar's pretty good at that. Tim doesn't like cops, not because of anything bad. Why are you asking all these questions? Because there may be something that you know and you don't think is important. Allie, we need your help.
Okay, so I selected I can manipulate shadows to engulf my enemies in darkness. You can You can manipulate the shadows so that your opponents are engulfed in darkness, prevented them from seeing. Note, this might stun some of your opponents, allowing you to gain the upper hand on them. I can send hellfire to my enemies. I can generate a bolt of dark energy. I can generate a bolt of dark light. I can channel energy into a hand weapon.
We've got an alarm out on the Accord. There's been no hits from the toll booth.
I can channel energy in...
He's with Detective tomorrow. Come here. Can I get you anything? Yes, I can smoke in here. No, but I can't have somebody take you outside. It's okay, I got it quit anyway.
Okay. You can channel...
Why am I in this room? Just to give you some privacy.
Note, the total damage you inflict will also be heavily... Let's go with a katana.
Let's verify the parents' version. Pull cell records, credit cards, and track them around the city.
You have 920
Each other up, but she's definitely afraid of him.
hero points left to spend.
Touch with Buffalo. Find out what's not on paper. You two talk to the Craigslist renter.
Dark
I
energy.
want to know the last time anyone other than these two saw that baby alive. Why
You
are
can-
still up? You had too much sugar. I told you not to eat all.
You can generate
One last piece, and you brush your teeth and you go to sleep.
a bolt of pure dark energy, which you refer to as a darkness bolt. Darkness bolt!
Gee, I wonder where she gets that from.
You couldn't
On Halloween?
do anything, you couldn't think of anything more catchy.
What's your gut on Tim?
Well, we got off to a bad start. That guy, his face, his ego's up.
And she's
Let's go with a-
protecting her. You want to dosey up?
That's what I'm thinking.
Let's go with a gun.
I just heard back from the precinct captain in Buffalo.
You can channel energy into projectiles, making you a feared long-distance combatant. When you concentrate enough, you can also manage to diminish the sound that that these weapons make. Which projectiles do you know? Which projectiles do you normally use? Here's another game mechanics note. The total damage you inflict will be heavily influenced by your agility. Gun.
Tim loves me. He never hit me.
So, sister called the police for no reason.
Movement.
Never liked him.
Alan, what you tell me? It's to help find me.
Teleportation.
Not being disordered.
You have the ability to teleport
He loves me so much.
to places where you have previously been. Note,
This report, and it's 6 months later.
teleporting to places you have not been to or cannot clearly see has its risks, as you might end up teleporting yourself inside an object. Thus, using this power during fights is not always possible, especially in cramped areas where you are at risk of teleporting into an object. Flying. You gained the ability to fly at a speed roughly similar to your running speed.
Is that what Allie said? Or that I heard her?
Defense.
Well, no one's making any accusations, but we have this report from Buffalo.
It's a misunderstanding. There are no
You can
charges.
create a weak force field around.
My side.
I can create.
Her
Okay.
bitch sister hates me.
Okay?
I see the way they look at me.
I can
The two of
slowly.
them. Her mother and her sister. Because the dad left, they hate all men.
That's gotta be frustrating.
I love Allie.
Okay.
She knows.
Let's go with regeneration.
Loved, thank you. Angry.
You can slowly regenerate your body over the course of a week.
I was on my
Note,
knees.
after you rest each day, your health will recover slightly.
Things you regret?
Okay. Strong.
I want to talk to Allie. What are you guys putting in her head?
Strong force field.
We might have a lead on the car. Abandoned off the Willis Avenue Bridge.
Okay. Attribute enhancing. I am more agile than the average human. I am much more agile than the average human. I have more stamina than the average human. I have far more stamina than the average human. I am more intelligent than the average human.
We need a level 1 mobilization. Check the hillside, check the check the embankment, get divers in the river.
You could be out here.
Let's go. Let's go. We have a lot more stamina than the average human.
Corey Jenkins. Protecting him. I don't know, Manny. If any cops ever do that. I tell you that we are gonna find the person who did this.
And
That's what we're going to find out.
let's do. I am much more agile. Let's do. I am far more intelligent.
Tomorrow and Thursday on Ion Television.
And
Mixed up crazy bread with crazy sauce. Let's ask stuff and nuts on crazy.
you have a psyche
Well, there you have it.
much more than that of an average human.
Pizza, pizza.
My age-related macular degeneration could lead to vision loss. So today I made a plan with my doctor, which includes
Miscellaneous powers.
may not be enough. And it's my vision.
I can become invisible.
My grandson's beautiful.
I can turn into a shadow.
Advance 2 contains the exact
Turn into a shadow.
Moderate to advanced AMD progression.
It's how I see my life.
Um,
Vision, preservation.
Cue Rachel Ray.
Hey, friends. Today we're whipping up some delicious recipes. So, who's hungry?
Pens love Rachel Ray Nutrition. It's kitchen-inspired recipes with real meat, poultry, or fish.
I have the power to.
Nutrish cat treats.
To all the moms who make things cleaner, smarter, better. You inspired us to make Arm & Hammer Clean and Simple, a detergent that's safer for your family. Powerful clean.
I have superhuman eyesight.
Constipation can happen all around us. You just need to know where to look.
I can see in the dark.
It's the #1 doctor-recommended stool softener brand for occasional constipation.
Actually, why don't we just go with all of these? No harm, no foul. Professional bodybuilder.
We have unbelievable deals on amazing brands and styles. And up to 60% off other retailers' prices. No coupons.
Professional athlete.
Every single day. For what I expected to pay for one outfit, I got 3. It's a treasure hunt with new bargains arriving all the time. And savings that'll surprise you. Wow. Whether it's back to school, work, or just back. Now more than ever, you'll love the deal. You'll love Burlington.
PhD.
I'm hungry here in space. Lost my crispy honey flakes. Oh, there they float. My sweet honey bunches of oats.
Among
Stubbornness.
my patients, I often see them have heat sensitivity as well as gum issues. Does it worry me? Absolutely. The new sensodyne sensitivity and gum gives us a dual action effect that really takes care of both our heat sensitivity as well as our gum issues. There's no question it's something that I would recommend.
16 hours since the baby was reported missing.
You already
I'm not feeling a happy
had a bit of money in the bank before you started your current job.
No blood in the backseat, no blood in the trunk.
What about prints? No hits. The only prints on the steering wheel were Tim's. Okay, so either the car thief wore gloves or it just didn't go down the way they say. Keep talking.
500.
You have some news?
But how did you get this money?
Police found your car.
Well, that's good, isn't it?
Yes, no. They didn't find it. You said Dave was in a car seat.
That's right, strapped in.
It was a reward from the police for helping catch a criminal.
So when did you decide to make the trip?
Last week, Tim really wanted to
The police gave you the money as a reward for helping catch a criminal. You had seen a poster of him and helped to identify him at
collection. It's not bad.
a shopping mall. This allowed the police to apprehend him, which made you a bit of money.
Not a lot lately.
Tough times can be all up, man.
Everyone's gonna work up there. It's not his fault. You never know what's gonna set Tim off. My sister
Let me just see if there's anything else I can do.
They don't live together. He's still with his mom. Believe that. She stays with me.
Nope.
He's over a lot. My food's like
Okay, so I've done everything I can do on this.
Toward his son?
No, not when I'm around.
Why'd you call the cops on him?
A superhero is identified by their costume
Tim a bit
as much
making crazy accusations.
by their powers. Would you like to specify your costume, or would you prefer to get on with the story? Costume time. Note: if you wish to choose one color, click on Finish selecting. After you choose one color. So what are the two main colors in your costume? Black, second color, gray. What does the top of your attire look like? Tight spandex costume, leather top, loose top, military top, revealing top, leather top.
I'm not lying about that.
The top of your costume is made of black, gray leather. And what does the bottom part of your costume look like? Military trousers.
You don't think so, and she doesn't think so.
Your superhero costume has military type trousers. What type of footwear does your costume have?
I need to talk to somebody.
Combat
What do you
boots.
got there? I didn't do anything. Mr. Hernandez says he just bought the car seat from a peddler in Tompkins Square. He brought it home. His wife recognized it from the news.
You wear militia combat militia combat boots. Are there any other important parts of your superhero costume? You can choose two options. I wear a cape that reaches down to my feet.
Where'd you get all this stuff? I got suppliers. Won't need their names. That's confidential. Trade secrets.
Thanks. Having your way.
Wear a mask and a hood.
Mr. Coogan, you're under arrest for larceny.
I'm a Vietnam vet. Been trying to make a living.
And what is the other choice that defines you?
I didn't see any baby. If I did, I would have run. I don't like babies.
But you did break into the car.
I ain't admitting to that either.
Your prints are all over.
You're allowed to lie to me, right?
I wear short gloves.
Back up. You don't care about the story.
You wear
This is
gloves.
about a baby.
You can trust me on that, I swear.
Would you like to now specify the type of attire you normally wear then when not at work? Yes, I would.
With all that stuff in it.
What time was that?
Just getting
So,
crazy is not
what type of top do you normally wear?
me post-traumatic.
This guy lawyers up? He didn't take
Tactical vest.
Where are we with the parents? Something happened.
Biker
between
jacket.
Buffalo and here,
Biker
but
jacket sounds
I don't make either of them as
sounds
hardcore
cool.
criminals. They would have come up with a better story. I'll just keep on talking.
Then what
Cause to arrest.
Well, he might now.
else?
Prelim labs came back on the items taken from their car. Something on the car seat. Well, the cooler. The lab found fecal matter with traces of soy forming.
They put their baby in the cooler?
The baby's body.
Black cargo trousers.
On television.
They are made of cotton and have mini pouches attached to them
To help lower stress.
where you keep various useful bits and pieces. Regarding footwear, what do you normally prefer to put on? Sports shoes. They are quite comfortable and clearly less heavy than boots. What color are your eyes? Hazel. Your eyes are hazel. What does your hair look like? Long red hair. You have long red hair that falls below your shoulders. Finally, are there any other features in your appearance that are worth describing? You can choose two options. I have numerous tattoos all over my body. I wear sunglasses. Even indoors, because I'm awesome like that. And let's go with tattoos. Because why not? Through the years, you have decorated your body with a number of intricate tattoos. Over the following weeks, increasing numbers of enhanced humans started to appear around the planet. All of them irrevocability changed by touching one of the stones. In each case, the story was the same, with the stones disintegrating into dust as their energy was transferred into the person that touched them. Some of those affected started to use their powers to help others to uphold the rule of law, with mass media referring to them as superheroes. Others have fewer concerns about the legality of their actions and are often described as vigilantes. Many have kept low profiles, hiding their powers from public view, and attempt to lead normal lives. Finally, there are those who are using their powers for personal gain or darker motives. Obviously, the public became obsessed with the deeds of enhanced humans and the origins of their powers. Various theories circulated around the origin of the stones until a leaked document confirmed that they were the remains of an asteroid that was secretly blown up by the joint efforts of the space agencies of the US, the European Union, Russia, and China. Cool. The asteroid known as X976 was identified as being on a collision course with Earth with a diameter of around 1 mile, it was large enough to cause lasting damage to the planet. A secret project, codenamed Armageddon, was put in place to blow up the asteroid into small fragments. Secrecy was of paramount importance as the governments feared that chaos and panic could grip the planet if people were to become aware of what was going on. A large ship was rapidly built in orbit
Detective Amaro said that she's sleeping.
around the International Space Station, and dozens of nuclear bombs were strapped around it. Then it was thrown on a collision course with the asteroid. With just hours to spare, the spaceship struck X-976, blowing its brittle carcass into a myriad of fragments that descended onto Earth. Scientists were surprised that these fragments did not
The lab found something else inside. Found fecal matter.
disintegrate as they entered the atmosphere, and the efforts were made to try to locate them. However, most were found by people like you who were hypnotized by their beautiful light.
So you have two choices, Tim.
The various governments around the world reacted with alarm to the appearance of enhanced individuals. Some countries have required all enhanced to register with the police, and the more oppressive regimens have either jailed or persecuted them or enlisted them into their armies. This drove many underground, explaining how most choose not to reveal their identities, using masks to protect themselves. Indeed, that is the path that you have chosen yourself, as you're afraid of the consequences of people finding out that you are really game mechanics note. Here you choose your name and gender, either male, female, or other non-binary, or NB. If none of the options given describes you well, choose I'm someone else.
Coffee.
Just coffee.
Yeah, instant.
You gotta take better care of yourself, Allie. Not just worry about how everyone else is doing all the time. Okay?
Let's go with
Alright, so when the fan belt's fixed, then you leave your sisters on
August Johnson.
before o'clock.
Yeah.
Choosing from the very start to hide your identity was probably a good idea. There are rumors that some corporations and governments have been kidnapping enhanced humans and running experiments on them attempting to reproduce the process that gave them their powers. Also, like many of your kind, you have chosen to use a costume to protect your true identity and to further emphasize your character. Obviously, obviously it's important that you find a quiet place where nobody can see you so that you can change into your costume. So far, you've been lucky that nobody has developed any suspicions about who you really are. Newspapers and local TV channels have already featured
Halloween costume. Some pumpkin thing. The guy said no kid of his was going to wear that, so he threw it in the trash.
have already featured you several times, and a number of a number of opinion articles have tried to decide whether you are a hero or a vigilante, although you are not really that well known outside of New York. The crowd starts to chant the name you are known by. So we have Shadowcat, Fire Demon, Dr. Amazing, Dark Projector,
So whatever happened, Tim, wasn't your fault.
Professor
It was the alcohol.
Neuron,
I don't think that you left the house
Neuron,
intending to hurt your
Neuron,
son.
Shining Justice, Mystic Defender, Mega Puma,
I didn't do it.
Mega Puma. That's what we're going with.
Oh, she would never.
You two were arguing at the bar. Maybe she got upset. It wasn't such a bad mood.
That's pretty cool.
If we had a drink, we could maybe have some fun.
The shouts of the crowd alert the police to your approach. One rather impressive policewoman who had been barking out orders from a loudspeaker turns around and approaches you. She appears to be of mixed ethnicity and has very powerful features and a strong body. Her short hair and
Responsibility on you. You're exhausted. You're tired. She just won't leave you be for 1 second.
her short hair and marital demeanor further emphasizes that she is not an ordinary policewoman, and you suddenly recall that she has appeared on TV many times. If you remember correctly, her name is Captain Villardi, an exceptionally charismatic officer who has been at the forefront of crime fighting for years. In her youth, she was a semi-professional athlete, and her bravery and intelligence are legendary. Her tone leaves no doubt that she knows exactly who you are, Mega Puma. Thanks for coming. My officers have Black Cockroach, that's really an original name. Not really. Cornered inside the supermarket. We tried to go in and arrest him, but his skin seems to be strong enough to deflect most of our bullets. The captain then points toward a couple of ambulances parked to one side of the street. Next to them, paramedics are tending to the injured police officers who look battered and bruised, but are probably not seriously injured. Looking toward the supermarket, she then adds, "He's very strong," and literally just threw my officers out through the window of the supermarket. That was probably stupid on his part, as he has no hostages and he doesn't seem to be completely immune to our bullets. Thus, he's effectively trapped inside. You take a moment to consider her words. Augmented strength, but not enough to kill a man with a single punch and a weak body armor. He doesn't sound too threatening, yet obtaining as much information as possible is probably the safest way to go. Piece of cake, nobody brought some insect repellent. Thanks. Is there anything else you could tell me about him?
Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage at no additional cost. You don't have to be a detective to know that we all need our car. But when your car those repairs can really
Let's go with. I'm not gonna go captain. I've no time for small talk. Just spit out everything you know about him. That's. Nah. Tell me everything you know about him. The captain nods as you say this, and you get the feeling that she appreciates your professional attitude towards the situation. She pulls out a piece of paper from her back pocket, though it appears that she knows everything on it already. His real name is Carl Jackson, a homeless person. From what we know, he isn't really a bad character and hasn't killed anybody so far. However, since he got his powers, he has been involved in a number of supermarket robberies around the state. Mostly, he just takes a little bit of money and food and appears to still be living rough, which is why we haven't been able to locate him. But this time he was stupid enough to try to rob a supermarket that is only around the block from a police station. Classification: Yonku. Known powers: shape-shifting into human insectoid form, enhanced strength and endurance, thick skin that can absorb low-grade bullet damage, insect wings that allow him to fly short distances. This shouldn't pose too much difficulty for you, right? It would appear that it is not only Black Cockroach's profile that the captain knows by heart, and the look in her eyes seems to indicate that she has a good understanding of the level of your powers and capabilities. In any case, this black cockroach is indeed a Yonku, as you first suspected. You feel a lot more relaxed about the entire situation, and from the captain's description, it should be relatively easy. Thanks, I'll try to reason with him. He'll be in chains in no time.
Neither did it together, or she's covered fast.
Well, I'll try my best, Captain. No, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I can't believe you officers can't handle such a weak, enhanced human. Anyway, I'll take care of it.
Right now, escape. He needs us.
No, it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yeah.
The captain nods in approval. Great. I didn't expect anything else from you. I was waiting for the SWAT team to arrive so that we could storm the building. But if you can deal with him, we'd be very grateful. I prefer not to put my officers in harm's way unnecessarily, though we'll be outside in case we're needed. Black Cockroach has asked for a negotiator to come, as he says he has hostages inside. However, we're convinced that he's lying and that there's nobody else in there. With that, she waves some of the officers to let you pass. Calmly, you walk through the police cars and approach the supermarket. The glass windows have been broken in many places, and the Black Cockroach has placed shelves against them to barricade himself inside. However, he has left the door open, probably waiting for the negotiator to arrive. Carefully, you approach and open the door.
What happened in that motel? You didn't take care of him.
Yes, you did. But the enemy said he was
Let's do carefully. You carefully approach the door, looking around to attempt to see if the Black Cockroach has set a trap. Everything appears to be okay, and you slowly open the door and enter the supermarket. Very cool. Directly in front of you is a humanoid-like insect, slightly smaller than the average human. His dome-like brown belly is divided into several segments, with the rest of his skin covered by the black plate-like exoskeleton. Two large membranous wings protrude from his back, covered by a tough, protective second pair of wings. His head is rather small than the rest of his body, and his compound eyes have two long, flexible antennae on top of them. Two Strong insect-like arms protrude from his torso, ending in powerful claw-like hands. A little brownish blood is coming out of some wounds in his lower abdomen, probably from the bullets fired by the police officers as Captain Velarde suspected. His exoskeleton doesn't appear to be hard enough to completely protect him from bullets. He advances a couple of steps toward you while looking at your costume and addresses you in a hissing tone. Who are you? You are not the negotiator. No, I'm pest control.
It'll take a while to confirm, but right now that's my
No, I'm Mega Puma. I'm here to take you to justice. Well, yes and no. I've come to talk to you to see if we can find a peaceful solution.
died of natural causes.
They need to tell us what really happened until they do. We'll let them know for sure.
Black Cockroach hisses but stops advancing towards you. What do you propose? I don't want to do any of this, but I need to. I need to eat. Before I used to live off rubbish bins. Okay, this was obviously made in the UK. I have no problem with the UK. But rubbish bins instead of trash cans are a clear sign, and the leftovers of restaurants. But why should I continue to live like that while all of you eat this? Don't I deserve to be treated like a human being? You nod and gesture for him to calm down. Yes, of course you deserve to be treated well, but you must understand that stealing isn't the way. You're scaring many folks out there, and they'll eventually storm this place. They're waiting for reinforcements and more powerful weapons, and I don't think that skin of yours will protect you against them. As you say this, he looks down at his abdomen, shaking his small head and looking concerned. Then with one of his hands, he strikes against a shelf, sending cereal boxes all over the supermarket. I don't want to go to jail. I haven't killed anybody. I just wanted to eat. I have these powers. Why should I continue to live like a beggar? You're no more than a scumbag, and you should give yourself in quickly before I lose my patience. Nope, not doing that. I think it'd be better if you handed yourself in. Those police officers outside will understand that you only did this because you had to. I really understand how difficult your life is, and that people should respect your powers. If you hand yourself in, I'll have a word with the officers so that they treat you very well. I can understand what you mean. I'll help you escape if... Let's do that one. black cockroach looks into your eyes and then slowly adopts a more relaxed and defeated posture. I don't want to fight. I just wanted to have some food. Slowly he changes shape into that of an old man with dirty greasy hair and several missing teeth. You find the contrast between the powerful physique of the black cockroach and that of his human form striking, and cannot help but feel pity for him. Slowly you both walk out and he hands himself over to the police. You walk towards the police barricade, and as you reach it, Captain Villard Velarde takes you to the side of the street away from everybody else. Mega Puma, your actions prevented my officers from suffering further harm, something for which I am grateful. Clearing her throat, she continues, I hope that I can count on you to help with any other future problems with enhanced humans. Am I correct in assuming that you nod affirmatively? Of course, Captain. Just let me know when you have any problems, and I'll come as soon as I can. Then, thinking about your conversation earlier with the black cockroach, you add, but Captain, you might want to go easy on him. Deep down, I don't think that he's a bad person. The captain looks at you inquisitively and nods. I'll take your words into account when writing my report. Sometimes people make mistakes, and this doesn't mean that they are necessarily bad. Okay, guys. I got so into this that I completely I wasn't looking at how long I was going. But I hope you all enjoyed Hero or Villain Genesis. There will be more of this. I don't know if it'll be as long as this, but don't forget to like. It really helps me out with you guys liking. It tells me what you like to see, and don't forget, and please feel free to make your opinion known down in the comments, because I love hearing. I love getting back to you guys. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell, because I usually upload once a day. I'm Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone.